So let's talk about the 2021 Haas livery for their VF21 and the controversy around it. Haas revealed this scheme on March 4th to some controversy. This controversy stems from Russia's doping scandal and then cover-up for the 2014 Winter Olympics. The ruling prohibits Russian athletes from competing under the Russian flag in international sports. The sanctions also prohibit the athletes from displaying the Russian flag and related symbols on their equipment. For a race car driver, I would think the car would be considered equipment. But what is it that makes this scheme controversial? There's two things that we need to look at. One, the colors themselves, and two, the way they're presented on the car. So first, the colors. White, blue, and red. These happen to be the colors of the Russian flag. But that does not necessarily automatically make this scheme a Russian-themed scheme. And also, the colors of the Russian flag aren't strictly prohibited within the sanctions. These are also the colors of many countries' flags, including the flag of the United States of America. Haas is an American team, so you could say that the livery is American-themed, but I disagree with that, and I'll explain more in the second part of the argument. But also, to contradict that this isn't an American-themed scheme, Haas has never run an American-themed scheme before. Now, that does not necessarily mean it's not, but it means that it's not something I would expect from them. Uralkali is the team's new primary sponsor. The company is also controlled by Dmitry Mazepin, the father of driver Nikita Mazepin. Uralkali is also a Russian company. While on Twitter, I've noticed some people are confused with the colors of Uralkali. Some people are saying that their colors are white and blue and red, and they're not. Here's their logo. Their colors are green and red. The colors for Haas Automation are red, white, black, and gray. So from a branding standpoint, this scheme doesn't make any sense for either company. If either company had these colors, it would be less of an issue. So now, on to the second part of the argument. It's not just the colors. And as I said before, the colors aren't strictly prohibited, but it's how they're presented. They are presented as a single stripe of white, followed by a single stripe of blue, and then a single stripe of red. What makes this a problem is that this is the exact same design as the Russian flag, which has been banned. I said I would talk more about why I didn't feel you could say that this was an American-themed scheme. And so, as an American, I feel that I am somewhat qualified to describe what an American-themed delivery might look like. These are some examples of NASCAR schemes that are patriotic and American-themed. These schemes typically feature white and red stripes, not just one of each color, but typically several, bunched together, and stars. In some instances, it even looks like the flag is placed onto the car. Now, these aren't set rules that must be followed, but more typical than not what you get with these schemes. There's always exceptions to the rule, obviously. So if we're talking about what a Russian-themed delivery might look like, similar to how an American-themed scheme would feature elements of the American flag, I would think it would include the same basic elements of the Russian flag, like single-colored stripes of white, blue, and red. And when you place those stripes in the same exact orientation as those on the Russian flag, it really makes it seem like it's a Russian flag. If you look at the stripes on the engine cover, it looks like the flag was draped over the top of the car. The front wing looks like each side is also the flag. This seems like a way for Dmitry and Nikita Mazepin to get around the Russian flag ban, and this is arguably worse than a driver just racing under the Russian flag. There is much more visible presence for Russia with a car that's designed around its flag, rather than just a driver having the Russian flag displayed next to their name. The reason the ban exists is to penalize Russia for state-sponsored doping without penalizing the athletes themselves by not letting them compete. If this isn't a Russian-themed scheme, then why can't we get an explanation from Haas as to why Haas and Uralkali would run a scheme that has no brand identity to the two brands involved? The only branding identity that this car has is to Russia. You can't just throw a Russian flag on a car and say it's not a Russian flag. Here are examples of liveries that I made using the same exact design that would have made sense. The first one features white, red, black, and gray. This is the colors of Haas Automation, and the colors that many people are familiar with seeing on a Haas F1 car. The second livery is mainly white, featuring green and red accents. These are the colors of Uralkali, which actually makes sense since they're the title sponsor. If you think back to when Haas partnered with Rich Energy, and if you haven't seen my video on that, then you should go check it out, they painted the car black and gold to match the branding of Rich Energy. But what they're doing here with Uralkali is the equivalent of them creating a scheme with the UK flag on it that's red, white, and blue. Because Rich Energy is from the UK. The amount that Haas is doing to keep Mazepin happy, to keep the money flowing, is really bad looking. Mick Schumacher is driving for a team that is bending over backwards for Nikita Mazepin and his dad's money. Schumacher is now driving a Russian-themed car for an American team. It just doesn't make sense. It's almost like Haas is saying that Nikita Mazepin is more important than Mick Schumacher. Gene Haas knew what he was getting into when he got into F1. He knew the kind of money that he was going to have to spend, and he got into F1 to promote Haas Automation. Gene Haas is also not new to the racing world. Dmitry Mazepin has been rumored to be buying Haas F1. Gene Haas has stated that the team is not for sale, but the thing is, the team is essentially for sale if they're going to create a whole Russian-themed livery that doesn't even match either company's color schemes. But also, if Gene Haas is going to sell the team, then why not just sell it? They aren't going to upgrade the car this year, so there's no real hope for them to get any good results with that strategy. So why is he spending his money to operate the team for 2021 if he's just going to sell it? It would make much more sense for Gene to have sold the team to Dmitry Mazepin last year if he wanted to sell a team. And Mazepin is certainly in the market for an F1 team. He was still fighting with Lawrence Stroll over the whole Force India Racing Point acquisition. So now, you've heard from me, and now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the Haas livery and the future of Haas F1? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and until next time, so long everybody.